Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm popping on. I've not done a Facebook Live in actually quite a while. I'm hoping I catch some of you on this Easter Sunday evening. I know many people spend their evening on Easter with family. Mine happens to be a little busy at the moment, and so I thought I'd jump on and kind of do an impromptu kind of live. We'll see who all I catch. I'm hoping a few. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get going here in a moment, but I kind of wanted to share. I'm going to do a fairly quick card idea, and it's totally on the fly, using the last chance category on display dies. The stamp set has already sold out. And I'm going to use the Prayers and Promises, which it's a stamp set that is on or in our no, my brain can't think here. Our online exclusives category in the online store. But quick idea, kind of something that came up, and I'll share with you a couple cards at the end that my stamp club did here a couple months ago. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera over, and we'll see what we get going here. So let me see if I can't catch you, and hopefully you can see stuff okay. Sometimes it's been a little fun trying to get things to be in focus. And so we're going to hope that we got you in focus and kind of see. So the on display dies, again, there's so much you can do with just the dies. And so it's kind of an idea. And I'm using the beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper. I have loved this particular print, a very black and white kind of option. It's our basic beige, and then it's got some basic black and some of the grays and things in the sketch artwork that I just love. The other sides are all these cute little detailed, and this is still a current Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 paper stack. And then I'm going to use some basic beige and some basic black, because, you know, that's what's in there. And we'll see about using, because it kind of coordinates, these antique pearls as some gems. So I'm going to go ahead and flip stuff over. I also am going to use the brand new, not available for purchase unless you're a demonstrator yet, but the basic black hybrid ink for any stamping that I do. And so let me grab some stuff here, and I'm going to kind of get going. So I'm going to grab the my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Grab my description of who I am and what I've been doing here. I'm hopeful to get another recording done, maybe a live before the end of the week, but chances are, because I'm going to be away from my father's memorial, I may not get anything until the following week, but we're going to see. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the large machine, because this die needs the large machine. And I'm only going to use from the die set, I'm only going to use the bookcase, and not even the topper. I just want the bookcase. And I know there have been a lot of ideas done using this, and so if you haven't seen them, this is not necessarily an original idea, but this idea or this concept is definitely one I've kind of thought of. I'm going to use some Post-it note tape, just so it's a low tack kind of tape. I'm sure you could probably use some painter's tape. That would probably work as well. I'm going to kind of come down just a little because I want kind of a little more of the house showing. So kind of whatever you want to see is honestly how this works. And then I'm going to put my top plate on, because you know Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is all about sandwiches. So we're going to roll it through, and then I'll kind of step you through what my concept or my idea is. Woo, as up we go. All right, so get that part out of the way, and we'll slide all this over, and I will need all those pieces. So you could obviously keep, and I'm going to keep the part that I pop out of here, because y'all need it. It just helps and when you're lining some stuff up. So this idea came to me a couple months ago, my stamp club was using the on display bundle. We do 2 months in a row with a bundle or a stamp set. And we were using this, and I was trying to come up, we ended up doing it a third month. And so I kind of wanted an idea. And so what I'm going to choose to do, you know what, I grabbed more than I needed to because I want here. So I grab some stuff out of my way, kind of see how things get going. So I'm going to use my trimmer because I was planning ahead. I wasn't planning very well on what parts I was using. So I'm going to cut from the black. I want to cut 4 inches. I'm a little bit crooked. Hold on. I'll come and grab it along that 4-inch mark. And I don't need my scoring blade. We're going to scoop this aside, and then I'm going to trim this down to 5 1/4. Let me get it up here because it's a little easier for me to see. Like so. Just trim off that little sliver here, and then I will need some more paper in a minute, but for now we can set this kind of out of the way. So hopefully. So what I did is I'm going to take what I'm using as a template, that actually what you would, if you were using the die in its intended portion, you would have lined it up and you would have had, let me scoot up a little bit so it's centered a little bit here. So I'm going to put the piece that would be the words today are just a little challenged. What would have been the bookcase, I'm going to put it down, and then we're only using it as a template, and I'm going to use those pieces of Post-it tape just to kind of hold it in place. And then I'm going to grab my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm going to kind of put my pieces into there. You could pop these up if you wanted. You don't need a lot of glue when you're working on this. You need enough to hold it down. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it to the side, and I'm going to start putting the pieces in, kind of in my template. And so the only thing that's getting glued down are the inset pieces. And so it's a matter of just figuring out which ones those were as I'm kind of recreating the scene. And the Stampin' Up! Has so many designer series papers that it's kind of cool. And this concept, again, I'll show you when I'm done the kind of the inspiration that ended up being for me. Let me grab, let's see, is it this one? And the nice thing is when you're doing all of this, well, that is if I can not leave it in there where I can't get it back out. Your scene will tell you where these pieces go, unless your scene is so fine and detailed that you aren't sure where it came from. So make sure you can recreate your scene as you're going. Okay. I think this piece comes down here. Yep, that looks like it to me. So it's a little cumbersome for watching the live here. Hopefully I'll catch you. Kind of see how things are going. So this idea came to me a while ago, and I just haven't had a chance to kind of recreate. So I'm going to make sure I get all my pieces lined up. Again, you don't need a lot of glue to hold these down. You could be a little more liberal if you wanted a little more assurance that things aren't going to move on you. And hopefully I still have 3 left after this piece. There's the house. You can kind of see how it all starts going together. Yes, I do still have the 3 pieces. So here it does look like that's where we've got everything. Because it wouldn't go here, would it? Oh, yes, it would. So sometimes it fools you. Okay. And we're going to come over and grab it in that centerpiece. Some of these are almost the same size shapes. And really you could do this in either orientation. It really depends on your paper and the scene that you're trying to recreate. And sometimes it's just how you want it to go. So I'm going to grab this last piece here. And this is just this layer. We're working on the layer. And if you don't catch this live or you miss it in the 30 days that Facebook allows it to be on my page, it is being recorded to go onto my YouTube channel. And so you will catch it there if you don't catch it right now. Or again, after that goes off. So then I'm going to pull this off. I'll kind of pull it where it's a little closer to my camera. I'm going to pull it off so that you can then see how all of that ends up working. Isn't that kind of cool? I just kind of liked how it kind of comes together. Gives you just kind of a cool idea. And then my idea was then to lay it onto a card base. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have an 8.5 by 5 1/2 piece of basic beige cardstock that I have scored in the middle at 4 1/4 and folded in half. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach. You could lay it up with dimensionals if you wanted. I'm not going to choose to do that. I am going to put a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. It's been my glue of choice lately for adhesive, very forgiving. I'm going to kind of line up and get my layer going here. So you see how this all goes in. And like so, kind of get it straightened up. There we go. And then again, I'm going to share with you that what I thought, let me get my dies kind of going back in the way I want them, get that out of the way, put it away. So it just makes me not lose things, which I don't want to lose any of those parts and pieces. I'm going to pull out the Prayers and Promises stamp set. It's again out of that online exclusives, and it's definitely greetings that are good for sympathy cards, as well as just maybe someone's just going through a hard time. It's a great stamp set, and I haven't used it. So let's pull it out. If I've used it, it's only been once. Pull it out, set this over out of the way, and then I've got just some scrap pieces of basic beige and basic black. And again, I'm going to kind of decide, what do I want it to say? I think I want it to say, I'm here for you. So I'm going to grab this little itsy bitsy. And you could use a die set. That certainly is an option. I'm going to show you something I'm going to choose to do just because I want to do something quick. This block happens to be one that was in a kit years ago now. Now the basic black hybrid ink is a little challenging, especially the first time you get it open. I haven't had too much issue after the first time. I know some demonstrators have. It will stain your photopolymer block, but it will not harm it. It will work just fine after you've cleaned it. It just may show some ink. So I'm going to put one there, and then I'm going to stamp it again, actually, just so I can have it a little closer to the base. We'll see how well I didn't stamp very clear there, did I? Let's come over here. I want it so that I don't have to trim it too much. Let's see how well I did. That's actually not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and set this out of the way. It's the only stamping I'm doing on the front. And I'm going to grab my trimmer again, turn it around so that I can try to just trim this piece off. So I'm going to come and trim that part off. I'll have something more to do later. And then I'm going to pull over. I love this section on the right side of my trimmer. It helps me just get a good image, and kind of think I want to come just about 1/4 inch, and we'll see how well we do here. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for. And then I can come in, so I want my other piece. How long was this? This was just at about 1 3/4. So we'll set it back over here. So 1 3/4, which means I need this at 2 inches. Trim that off. Again, we have more to use later. That's a great reason to keep scraps. And then I'm going to come just at, did I do 1 3/4? Let's come up at 1 1/2, although I think I'm going to trim it down. But let's put it here. And if I want it smaller, we can always make it smaller. So then I'm going to come in. Oh yeah, see how great that's going to look? I think that's going to work well. So I'm going to layer these two together. Just put a little strip of some multi-purpose liquid glue. It's a great option, especially when you're looking for something quick. So there we go. I'm going to line the two up just to say I am here for you. Let me see if I can get it far enough over that that's, yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to get a little higher up with my card idea. So where you end up placing this, and I'm going to use some mini dimensionals to do so. You could come over on this end, kind of almost like that. I kind of like it off down in this corner. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some mini dimensionals, and because I have them, if you haven't used our basic black or our black Stampin' dimensionals, when you're using black or really dark cardstock, it is a great option because you won't ever see it behind your, and they're sold in a combo pack, which is the other beauty of them. You'll get some of this minis, and you'll also get some of the full-sized. And so it's a great value to have just some of each, because I don't use them obviously all the time. So then I'm going to turn this over. And again, you could put it up here. I just kind of, again, I kind of like it down in this lower section by this fence. So let me get where I want that. I like that I'm here for you. And then on the inside, you could choose to either stamp your interior greeting directly on the basic beige, which keeps it a really light, very mailable card, or you could choose to put another layer inside and stamp on it. And there's plenty of different options. I just really like how you have some different greetings, either praying that the Lord's promises will help bring you hope and comfort in the days ahead, or you could have just, may you feel God's care and healing as you recover, which this would also work real well for. So I'm going to set my stamps kind of out of the way. I still need to clean the one. And then, because I mentioned, let's put my glue away before it dries up. The other nice thing is that you then can add some other gems. And so I'm going to use, again, these antique pearls, which kind of have that, and I like my take your pick tool. Let's see if I can find it sitting in here. Kind of like that it gives you some options. And I don't want them real big, so I'm just going to use some of these smaller ones. So I'm going to grab over here, and I think kind of want to put one over here, And yeah, I like them in odd numbers. You certainly could choose to put them however you'd like, but I like at least 3. You certainly could do far more than 3, but just kind of keeping it simple. So hopefully you kind of like this idea. It's, again, a cute, simple card idea. I will post it on my Facebook page, Just a Little Ink, as well as a picture eventually. I'm not sure if it'll be in this week, my blog, justalittleink.com. But anyway, I'm going to flip out of this camera and show you again as I say au revoir. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to being on again soon. Like, share, please comment. I'd love to see what you choose to do with this. Oh, and I almost scooted right along without sharing. So, hey, better go back there. I told you I'd share my inspiration. This card was my inspiration. It uses, and I won't remember to tell you even the name of the stamp set at the moment. It's the stamp set. It's on the last chance category. It has the stamp set, the dies, and then the layering stencils that help you to color those roses just so professionally. And then I also use the now retired textured notes dies that had stitching all the way around to do this one. It's been heat embossed, and some cute little gems that are this lemon lolly. And then to share with you an idea that was a little different. This one's one I've seen different ideas on, but not with the turtles. The turtles are also on the last chance category. But taking those in different colors and actually stamping on parts and pieces to create kind of a neat layered card idea. So similar option, but different. Again, thanks again for taking time out of your day to watch. I look forward to seeing you again soon with some neat ideas. Happy stamping.